So I don't know where my webcam is. I guess I need to make one for that too. I can't find it on OBS right now. But I need to, if you work at Kinko's or a similar copy shop, in the comments below, let me know. I've misplaced a tiny little fey creature. That tiny little fey creature has run away forever, and I'm going to yell at him in Discord. Maybe he'll show up. Oh, I made a gross burp, and you didn't hear that. Wrath is wrathing. Right. Wrath now. And, why yes, my friends, we are back for another episode of Godzilla and Friends are finally done with the Great Garrison. I kind of gonna miss it. That was a really fun dungeon, I thought. We all got that fatigue real hard. But, whew, I don't know what to challenge y'all with next, but there we are. Here it is. Bi-weekly game. Nick, Tim, Jason, Adam, thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon. As we head on into Sword of Valor, the second book, I will... if Kieran shows up, Kieran has his hero point. Here's a D3 for that in-character reflection. We begin with the man who just finished leveling. Old Grazak Worm Blessed. If you guys could, when you talk about your race and your class, if you could also let the people know your mythic path as well and get that in-character reflection on. Nick, you have the floor, my friend.
Okay, well, everybody, we haven't done one of these in a long while, that's for sure. So,
when you have 25 million combats over several sessions.
Well, the past few weeks, how long has it been in real time?
Oh God, I want to say you guys did the Great Garrison in 5 sessions, 4 or 5. So in real time, it's been too much time.
2.5, 3 months.
A while.
Well, since coming to Menendev to begin with, everything's kind of been a whirlwind for Grazak. He came from a simple village where he was kind of the oddball, but respected for the potential that he still had, but things went down, and now he thought he had a greater destiny in mind, and so he traveled north to begin with. Turns out he did have a destiny in mind, it seems, but things are a lot more overwhelming for him than he thought that they would be. Fighting demons is really, really hard and scary, and being in all the stuff that's been revealed to him about the nature of Apsu and the gods in general have kind of flipped his worldview upside down to an extent, and it's a lot to process for a guy who was essentially just a simple backwoods tribesman living in the forest, munching on, giant bugs and dinosaur meat. And now that he's basically gone through an apotheosis, now that he's basically half dragon, how much of him will remain him as this whole adventure goes on? We'll see.
Fair enough, and you are playing a what?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Sorry about that.
You're good.
I'm playing as my version of Lizard Folk Paladin, and I'm taking the Path of the Champion.
Path of the Champion! Fair enough, alrighty. And we did get you...
Multiple spikes per day are awesome.
Indeed. And we got that Stolen Fury buff ticking on you, right? We got that taken care of?
Mine was the Exposed to Awfulness, actually.
But
what was that buff again?
The PC gains a +3 hit points per level when reduced to negative hit points by an attack or effect from a demon. As an immediate action, the PC can expend 1 use of mythic power to heal damage equal to 2d6 plus twice her mythic tier. The healing occurs... This is a lot of talking that I know I said last time, so I'm gonna... I'm making noises. I'm gonna put it right there. Boom, pop. Okay. And the hero point is yours, friend. And it's evens, Jason, odds, Tim. The smallest of us. Actually, not the smallest of us. The smallest of us present in the nesting dolls of valor.
All right. I am exhausted from that very long, very short dungeon.
Yeah, that's fair.
Literally, 2.5 floors? Bad. But it was fun. It was good times. We made it through, only losing a couple of people. It would have been nice if there weren't quite as many people, and you know, because some people were decided to, you know, go there without everyone else. Ever heard of not splitting the party? I'm just saying. The things that I took were, I went Hierophant, and I took the Inspired Spell ability, which allows me to cast 7 spells. Currently 7 spells per day at +2 their level, and they can be any spell from my spell list, not just the spells that I know. Also, I took the ability Faith's Reach, which means that any touch spells, I can cast them at 30 feet instead of just touch.
Seems good. When in doubt, get free reach, meta magic, and also a hero point. And you are a what class?
Hierophant?
That is your mythic path.
Oh, my class is Oracle. Still.
And little tiny baby Sylph, hero point is yours. Actually, very old, opposite of baby, and not tiny and not Sylph, but you understand. And Jason, take his arm.
Okay, I am playing a Forgekin, which is, giant dwarf. Easiest way to describe it. I'm a magus, and I'm going to be taking the Archmage path. And we're going to see how this works, because I would really like to stop being the largest target on the battlefield. So I have a few tricks in mind. But all told, he was captured, was intended to be a sacrificial victim in the World Wound, escaped, joined the Crusade, and now he has some reasons to hope for his people. So we'll see where this goes.
Very well. Take that hero point, my friend. And I was gonna say something like alluding to, gosh, I wish Adam was here. Where's Adam? I've misplaced my little Fey friend. But we've put it in chat, and I already changed the AFK from him.
I have a quick question. What changes did you make to your character? Because I didn't really hear it. All right.
Well, Jason.
Basically, I'm going Archmage for my mythic tier. And that's the majority of it.
Okay, there was also like a secondary ability that you get to pick from. What did you pick?
That would be the I've absolutely forgotten ability, and I will get back to you.
And we appreciate.
You're welcome.
Why, thank you.
Damn it. I love you guys. All right. I see you, Adam. You're hiding there. You've been very kind. Give us the ABCs. Give us this isn't second edition. The class and race and mythic path and your in-character reflection, and we will kick off. Also, quick slow clap. You made it. Nope.
I did show up. Apologize.
Somebody got me.
Name is Kieran. Race is Burrell. That race is Fey, Tiny, Slow, Standard, Racial Language of Sylvan, Advanced, choosing Physical for +2 to all physical, +4 to mental intelligence, -2 to charisma. I have taken Flight 3 times, Hatred for Demon and Humans, Low Light Vision, and a static bonus feat of Improved Initiative. In case y'all are wondering, because it might be important at some time, I have Abyssal, Celestial, Common, Dwarven, Infernal, Sylvan, and Undercommon.
Noted.
I am a follower of Callistria, because that seemed to be the one that just wanted to have fun. And I am chaotic good. Class is Alchemist, Vivisectionist, with the Valet Familiar archetype as well. I have a black cat.
And remember, friends, it's not a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Not a tumor. It's a
What else? Archmage, Wild Arcana, Crafting Mastery, and Mythic Crafter.
And the in-character reflection, my friend.
Do we get a month off and lots of things to do?
Is that a question for me?
No, that's pretty much an emotion.
Ah.
I'm trying to keep it also clean and
Fair enough.
I understand.
Yeah, that's makes sense.
open
As
to
far as I
interpretation.
Good enough, friend. Hero point is yours. I will certainly cut this part out of the recording, but real quick, you sound like you're dying. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. I
Okay.
just literally woke up.
Huh. Well done.
Night.
I slept through my alarm.
I've done that.
I've done that.
2 weeks, like 4 weeks ago. Yeah, 4 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
you did. Rough night last night.
Let's see. I stayed up until 1 something because I just couldn't fall asleep. And then woke up at 6, then got up again at like 6:40
Yeah.
and was up until almost 11 from then, and then slept from 11 until now.
Nice.
Sure.
Fair enough. Alrighty, down to business. The first thing that's going to happen before the ball moves forward any farther is 8 hours are going to pass plus a night's rest. That will give Kieran 8 hours to start rolling craft checks. That will give you guys time to vendor.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Time to vendor, as in sell stuff.
Yes, this is, you don't necessarily we can off screen sell it and have bought things, but this is the time where it happens. And if Kieran wants to try to spit some magic items out with that gold.
Ooh, dang. This is something we should have tried to do before this started, because this is going to take up a lot of time.
Really, Kieran gets a choice and a roll, and probably can look at the stuff and see more or less the amount of gold he can spit out.
Yeah, but in terms of selling what stuff we want to sell.
Okay, fair enough. Do that off camera, but consider it is sold now for continuity's sake, right?
Okay.
Makes sense. So then, Kieran, with a vague abstract of how much gold we have, you have 8 hours to try to craft a magic item.
Yeah. I'm going to the...
I suppose it will be very easy for the tiny creature to craft magic items in the next part, given that you don't need a lot of space. During this 8-hour period, you guys are holed up in Defender's Heart. There's no sign of Anivia or Irabeth, but people are coming and going. People are coming in back to the city, beleaguered. A lot of innocents and elderly and children make their way in. The word on the street is that there are some holdouts in Canabres, but basically the Crusaders are now making a point of exterminating everything, and the city is retaken.
All right, good. So I guess, yeah, that essentially means we finally do get a bit of a break for ourselves.
Yes. You guys have fought the hard fight. There are definitely a lot of people that stop and like stare in original Fable, right? As like here is this shiny silver man and just a big dwarf and a resting Super Saiyan 2 face over here. Like people stop and but if there's anything else you want to do, anyone you want to talk to, things of that nature, at some point, Apsu sends an enormous Archaeopteryx, and it will function as the divine bond of Grizak.
Oh.
Using stats as a rock, but yeah, I can definitely get behind an enormous Archaeopteryx.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to say, Adam, I hope you don't hold this against me, but I just ended up flipping a coin to see which divine bond I would take.
I think Adam just wanted to be the only one with the fly speed.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's fine.
No, it wasn't.
There was definite upsides to Horns of Getaway.
Yeah. Something with a
I know
really
that
fast
they're-
fly speed. Well, in any case, Adam, you have 8 hours that we can, like, make the roll at some point in time. The night passes, people rest. Basically, first thing in the morning, after everybody's up and around, Eurybeth and Enevia return. When they do so, you guys are, like, down in Defender's Heart taking your breakfast. They're followed by a human woman in, like, glorious mithril full plate, Iomedae's holy symbol on her shield, Iomedae's holy symbol on the breastplate of her full plate. Everybody sees her, and she's flanked by probably like a dozen humanoids dressed in similar fashion. And as like she walks in, people stop what they are doing and they turn and they bow. You guys don't need to roll like society checks or anything. Moving in with Eurybeth and Enevia is, in fact, the Queen of Mendev. If you consider yourself to be a, like, citizen of this nation, such as it is, this is your sovereign. If you do not consider yourself to be, like, from this place, nevertheless, this is one of the most powerful and most influential people on Galarian right now.
Definitely worth a bow.
She makes her way to everybody. She throws a couple gold around, kind of mostly as a show of things, because if she wanted to break out the ale will be broken out. Lots of just drinks for everyone. Well done, all of you. Pats on shoulder, and then she looks over at the four of you, and she kind of like stops, double takes, moves over. Well, I suppose you four are the ones that they've been talking about. She looks back at Eurybeth. Eurybeth nods. You see also Enevia is no longer limping, as if, like, she just got herself a brand new leg, basically.
Did she get herself a new leg?
She's definitely, like, it would appear the wound has been entirely restored.
I was about to say, because, like, if she had, like...
She double-dipped Alchemist and got a vestigial leg, so actually it's, like, this weird tentacle, but it'd be alright. We don't talk about the tentacle. The queen makes her way over, and several people, like, around you all notice her, and that general jovial just, yes, well done, well fought, big smiles and, like, pats on backs all around. I'd like to speak to the four of you, somewhere quieter, if we could.
Sure thing.
Very well.
And she looks around, and Eurybeth points at, like, in the corner. There's a separate room for parties, basically. And you guys are led into there, and as soon as you guys are in there, the door is closed and locked, and the queen removes her helmet, and she sits down in the chair, just, like, almost falling into it, as the rest of her guards fall in behind the door to keep anybody from coming in. She leans forward, takes her head in her hands, and just... Are we having fun yet? This is a mess.
Fun would be one word, Your Majesty.
Indeed. It's been a long couple weeks.
Another word would be agonizing, terrifying.
Horrendous, the most egregious trial of my life. Yes, I believe you are correct, my friend. You are the ones responsible for everything that happened here, and I apologize. My armies have been making their way from the border south to here. Literally, we have got here as soon as we can, and it's just as bad here as it was everywhere else. Yet I am led to believe that something the four of you did was responsible for stopping it. Please, I would know everything that happened.
Okay. Suppose we proceed to tell her about exactly what happened. Went into the garrison, destroyed the wardstone that was being used to try and shatter what was left, I guess. You know what? Someone else explain this. I'd probably better doing it than I can.
Rizak is too tongue-tied by the presence of the queen.
Your Majesty, we were responsible for neutralizing the wardstone here. And I guess all along the border, the wardstones were going to be corrupted. And they would have turned the defenders into agents of evil. We had no other choice.
I see. Well, I'm not going to lie, there are some narrow-minded individuals amongst the Crusade who blame you for the destruction of the border. I certainly do not begrudge you for what you've done. Far from it.
If it helps, it was on the advice of a Rift Ward.
Precisely. From the sound of it, it sounds like you saved entire legions of us from a most vile fate. And that blast of energy gives us the time we need to regroup and prepare for what will certainly come next. Of course, you understand the implications. Though our barrier is gone, it would seem the gods have chosen, and she spreads her arms, the four of you. I can think of no other reason why this power would settle within you rather than dissipate. In time, of course, the demons will regroup. They will reorganize. We can trust the inherent chaos of the things to keep that for a while, but it's inevitable. They'll be back. I've heard reports already from along the front lines, but what is intriguing me the most is news from several reliable sources that as our fiendish enemies mass in the southern regions, they've left several of their northern layers relatively unprotected. In particular, that fiend Aponovinkus has taken the bulk of her army from Dresden, leaving it only, she does the so-so with her hands, moderately defended. And she joins with the Storm King to no doubt plot greater attacks to the south. The time is right to strike into their territory. Dresden was the first of our cities to fall after the First Crusade. We've lost more than our kin and our pride that day, for within Dresden is the Sword of Valor, a magical banner carried by none other than Iomedae herself during the Shining Crusade. I trust that all of you understand how that would affect morale if we were to bring it back where it belongs, shall we say.
It would be a powerful symbol indeed.
Unfortunately, with the imminent attack along the border, I can't spare many on this assault. Even if I could, a larger army would, of course, and she, makes the motion of, pushing a mug of ale across the table, and then both of her hands come around the side to grab it. Would only draw more back to defend the place. So the obvious tactic is to send in a group of capable warriors with a modest but well-trained army to strike now while the iron is hot. And that is why I've sought you out today. If you can retake Dresden and reclaim the Sword of Valor, not only will you silence the fools who would brand you traitors for destroying the Wardstone, but you would bolster the entire war effort with your heroism. And I fear we need all the bolstering we can get. She looks out at the four of you.
I have nothing to say no.
For Majesty, but do you really think that's within our ability? The city is quite large.
It is. Fortunately, the demons won't expect it, and they might not even notice it. If you can secure the Sword of Valor, it will do most of the work keeping the place safe once you've reactivated it.
Oh, so this Sword of Valor it's not just a flag.
No. It's...
So
Once upon a time, the standard was carried by Iomedae herself.
And
let's just say a bit of her divine power has remained within it.
oh, that makes more sense. I was about to say it would seem impractical to risk the lives of your army just to gather a bolt of cloth.
Much more, my friend.
Very well. Razak turns to the others. And it's like, we will do this, yes? No?
Yeah.
It seems the best thing.
Does Tempe have anything to add, or is she just listening?
So far she's just listening. Hasn't.
Okay.
Okay. Well, time is of the essence. I would like to set you off as soon as possible. Every day spent waiting is one more day for the demons to catch wind of these plans and reinforce their city. But before I take you to meet your new army, and I can spare a couple of experts as well, obviously, your successes and triumphs have not gone unnoticed. Under normal circumstances, we would have a much bigger affair of this. I hope the four of you can forgive me. There won't be any pomp and circumstance today. I would like to knight all four of you as knights of the Fifth Crusade.
Knight us?
Yes. In doing so, this noble title will give you permission to lead armies, show up somewhere if they fight for the Crusade and they recognize you as a knight of the Fifth Crusade. They are honor-bound to follow you. This also gives you the right to rule lands in Mendev. I'm sorry, friend.
I believe I speak for all of us when I say what I not do for personal gain or glory. But if this crusade and its people,
you want us to lead your armies?
Not all of them, just the ones I'm leaving with you, and again, should you come upon others without leaders, this title bestows the right of leadership upon you.
Will this go over well with your men? It it seems that some of us are kind of, well, as you said, some of us are seen as traitors by some of the Crusaders. Will this go over well with any of them?
There are some, yes, who see the four of you as nothing more than saboteurs. Fortunately, the men you will be leading into the World Wound are hand-picked volunteers. There's not a one going with you who doesn't have strength and courage in their hearts. There's not a one going with you who doubts what you did in the slightest. And by retaking Dresden, those who wish to have small, narrow-minded views of events, well, it should shut their mouths. For you specifically, well, some of my men have ridden into combat behind silver dragons in the past.
I am no dragon, though.
Could have fooled me.
I am not sure what I am just yet.
What you are is brave. What you are is honorable, valorous. You do the right thing even when your life would be on the line, and the more immediate concern, my friends, is when a knight accomplishes a significant task, he or she is rewarded. She pulls out a bag of holding, sets it on the table, and pulls out 6 little tiny pins. These righteous medals are, again, when a knight goes through a particularly arduous task, the crusade rewards them. And all of you, well, I've heard tales of the garrison. I've heard tales of your leadership, tales of your sacrifice, your bravery, your courage. We don't let that go without rewarding our best and brightest. She goes a digging through farther into more of the bag, and you realize there are several copies of each of these. And I will freely admit, it's been a couple weeks since like all of the Grey Garrison events. So if you, the players, feel you are deserving of this because you did the literal thing to earn the literal merit badge, speak up. She pulls out 4. The first one she sets down it's triangular in shape, and it looks like the head of a gargoyle emblazoned on the middle of it.
Okay.
She pushes it over. These are righteous medals of agility. They are awarded to heroes who deliver a death blow to a demon in combat before that demon gets a chance to fight back. She pushes one towards Kieran. I have heard tales of your lightning speed, and never have I ever heard of anyone who could fling a pebble at anything and cause it to drop like you do. This certainly belongs to you, my small friend.
'Tis my pleasure.
I don't think anyone else did this, unless somebody would like to be like, no, I did it. But I'm pretty sure it was all Kieran all the time. Kieran probably earned this like 20 times over.
He probably did.
Hire someone to wear a jacket to carry all of those.
So, of course, as I'm sure Adam already knows, the Righteous Medal of Agility gives you a +1 sacred bonus on initiative checks, and as a swift action, all of the medals function this way. As a swift action, you can gain a +2 sacred bonus to the associated ability score. This one is associated with dexterity for a minute.
You should totally give me one that just gives me the initiative bonus. It'd be hilarious.
Last +2 is last! Next up comes a circular-shaped one with a pair of, like, feminine-looking gray eyes. The eyes kind of look like I can't think of the card that my Valentine plays in, like, the OG Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it kind of looks like those. On a blue metal with, like, a silver lightning bolt running around it. The Righteous Medal of Clarity is awarded to heroes who recover vital information of great use against the World Wound and deliver that intelligence to the Crusaders. And she pushes 1 towards Delphin.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Associated with intelligence, +2 sacred bonus on saves against insanity or confusion effects, or a +2 to your int for a minute. And she breaks out, this time, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 circular medals depicting a demon head with 2 crossed swords behind it. And 1, 2, 3, 4. The Righteous Medal of Command is awarded to our knights who redeem one of the enemy and convince the redeemed character to join our crusade. I have met your allies. You hear somewhere from the back of Defender's heart that as Sol eats more food. And we know that the demon's plan was to corrupt and convert everyone. This may well have been the greatest achievement of all of you. And she pushes 1, 2, 3, 4 at everybody. Thus, all 4 of you earn the Righteous Medal of Command. And that one is associated with Charisma and gives you a +2 sacred bonus on saves against emotion-based effects, including fear. Because you guys have basically done that constantly, the whole time. That's been our entire Mountain Blade Warband adventure so far. Next up is a big rectangle with Iomedae's holy symbol on it.
Ooh.
That I could have a positive charisma modifier.
You did it! Hurrah!
My
No.
charisma also went up to 24, so
Wait, so what? How
that
much
means I
does
have to change a bunch of stuff.
Right.
Sorry.
The sacred bonus to charisma only goes up for a minute, and you activate it as a swift action. It's not a permanent +2.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, it just brings me up to 0.
Hey, 0 is positive. Anyway, rectangle, Iomedae's holy symbol. The Righteous Medal of Spirit is awarded to a hero who becomes possessed or mentally controlled by a demon, but escapes before they are forced to do evil. I believe none of you at this time. However, should later in your careers this happen, you certainly could earn one. Next up is literally just looks like a Baelor's skull with 1, 2, 3, 4 swords in a half moon pattern stabbed into the top of it. The Righteous Medal of Valor is awarded to anyone who delivers a death blow to a demon who is more than a match for them. Mechanically, a demon whose CR is at least 1 higher than character level. One of them is pushed towards Kieran, who basically has dealt... I know he didn't, but they were dead. You know they were dead. One of them is pushed towards Grazak. One of them is pushed towards Delvin.
I just kind of look at her like, I'm not saying no.
Close enough,
Did I
friend.
earn it?
Of course you did, little one.
If you weren't doing non-lethal, you earned this one 8 times over. I'm pretty sure. Lots of demons got whacked in the face and then knocked out. This gives you a +2 sacred bonus to your CMD and is keyed to strength. So if you'd like a +2 to your strength for a minute as a swift action. And last but not least, a hexagon with a white castle on a field of red with a gold outline around it. The Righteous Medal of Vigor is awarded to anyone who survives and rejoins a battle against a particularly hated foe, even unto the risk of their own life. Mechanically, anyone who is reduced to negative hit points but survives or is restored to life and rejoins the battle before the demon is defeated. I believe that one goes to Delvin and Grazak.
Yeah,
Kitty pops out.
Hmm?
kitty pops out.
And your sure, okay, and your cat, sure, why not? Just meow. Of course, the littlest one. I forgot. Brave Sir Cat, and she draws a dagger, and like cats don't have shoulders per se, but like top of leg, and she does the like, I knight the Knights of the Fifth Crusade. This cat is now able to hold land and command troops, and may Iomedae forgive me. And she puts the dagger away. The Righteous Medal of Vigor to Kat and Delvin and Grizak is associated with Constitution, and it's a +2 sacred bonus on saves against death effects.
The things that are like the +1 bonus to charisma and stuff, is that permanent?
No, the any buff to any ability score is a +2 sacred, and it lasts for a minute, and then it goes away.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it was +1.
There are some +1s from like agility gives you a +1 to dexterity. Some of them do like a +1 thing. Oh, yes, excuse me. Thank you. Oh, yeah, look, I'm trying to see if they're used once a day. I don't think they are. Any number of right smell functions. Yeah, no, it's just as a swift action, you get a +2 sacred bonus to the ability score for a minute. There is no limit that I'm seeing on uses per day of these things, so that's fun.
Oh wow! So I'm just gonna boost it up one more because I'm just gonna always use it.
just as long as you have the swift action to pop it, basically.
There's gotta be a limited
once per minute.
These ornate military medals are awarded to crusaders and adventurers who excel and deserve commendation in the war against the Worldwound. A medal must be affixed to a worn article of clothing to function, but doesn't have to be worn visibly. Any number of righteous medals can be worn, but the effects of multiple medals of a single type don't stack. A righteous medal functions only if the wearer has legitimately achieved the feat for which they received the medal. As a swift action, the wearer can gain a +2 sacred bonus to the medal's associated ability score for 1 minute. In addition, each righteous medal grants a constant sacred bonus to one type of thing as detailed below. There is no, you just tag it, and there you go. You just have to, like, know to tag it, basically. I'm going to say mechanically everyone has to spend a swift action in the first turn of combat, because otherwise we're counting everything we do in 6 seconds. No, I'm sorry, you got 4 rounds on that left. Hold on, friend. In any case, as Galfrey takes the rest of the medals and puts them away, if you were to earn all 6 of these, it would be unprecedented across the entire history of the Crusades. And who knows what it would do for powerful heroes such as yourselves. So, mechanically, you need to get yourself possessed and then break out of it before you were forced to do evil. Because I guess I'll say, to make it a fun little minigame for y'all, a mythic character who wears all 6 righteous medals gains 1 additional use of mythic power per day. So there you go, kids. You've got something to strive to achieve for.
Oh boy.
Yes.
The only question I have is with clarity.
Okay.
Didn't we bring a note back and all of their battle tactics information? Didn't we kill someone and we found a note talking about a plan or something?
And brought back heads.
And Rob, fair. Okay, that works for me. Yeah, sure. Everyone gets clarity. We didn't talk about it and didn't really like play it out in book 1. But I think a function of that was there were a lot of other things going on, and when you're a bi-weekly group, sometimes the notes fall through the cracks, but Adam is correct. That did happen. So there you go. Hooray for everyone. Everyone gets clarity.
That +2 to intelligence will be great for when Grazak needs to learn more about books.
And a +2 sacred bonus on saves against insanity or confusion.
Wait, what was clarity?
Clarity is the circular blue metal.
I will put it in really quickly, and I want to double really quickly, and I'll cut this out. But to open the book is to metagame. I will put that in. Here we'll go. Bam, bam. There you go. I'm gonna grab all of them. Boom.
Oh no, I have Hero Lab open.
Oh, fair enough.
So I can look at the items.
I forget that Hero Lab is amazing as it is. I need to talk to them, and I need to get sponsored real quick. Anyway, Galfrey stands up. Time is of the essence, friends. If you'll follow me, I will lead you to, well, your new friends. I have 3 specialists that I can send with you. If there's anyone else you would like to take, well, far be it from me to stop my newest knights.
So, Kieran mumbles something about I need to collect 1 to go fight the Elite Four.
God.
Aren't we basically the Elite Four?
That might be a better name for this party than the Nesting Dolls of Justice. Just call you guys the Elite Four.
Dolls is great.
There's a dragon type, a fairy type, a rock type, and a flying type trainer is what y'all are. That's good. That's very well done. I'm proud of you.
Oh my god, we need to get Idaho on it and just make make Pokemon cards of us.
Everybody re-roll summoners, but you can only, like, Delvin can only summon things from the plane of Earth, Tempe's summoning things from the plane of air, Kieran can only summon Fae, and we'll figure out how dragons are summoned, I guess. But there it is.
Just
Beautiful.
take the Draconic archetype. I'll take the Draconic archetype for my mount.
I mean, it's not the worst idea. Have a giant draconic Archaeopteryx monster. That's fun. Anyway. Galfrey, like, she just continues, like, is there anyone else you would like to bring? As we come now to a sort of meta question about, I know we talked last time off camera, about what the encounters would look like in Book 2. There's also a matter of, like, there are a lot of NPCs you've met who like you. You have a lot of, like, people in your retinue who did level after the garrison. Bringing them with you is one thing. Bringing them with you and putting them in combat is another thing. All kind of just a meta thing to decide. But now is the, like, final time to pick, basically.
Oh, now is like meta talk.
Now is we need to decide if we want to bring all 20-something of the people we've rescued, if we want to bring, like, Irabeth and Evia or Vashnial, so on and so forth.
Well, here's the way. Well, assuming that these guys can't level up along with us, maybe take a character that, if not, can't be useful for combat, maybe as like an informant of some kind.
Okay. Certainly a lot of the things we've put together can be used as, like, scouts, healers. Like, bringing Belthus is not the worst idea. Just leave him out of combat so we can, like, have some healing at the back. Or, like...
I was going to say maybe like Araveshniel.
Araveshniel certainly has a lot of insight into things. Most of the people will.
I know, that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I was thinking about buying a carriage and not having a carriage, but a little workroom and having 2 of my mages be the attendants.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Just like the mobile alchemist lab.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
Since we got one.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Indeed.
So not everyone that we've collected, but maybe the people that we've spent time, like, creating.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, if it's an NPC you care about, and certainly you can decide on a person-by-person basis. Like if you really want to bring your mongrel men or your mages, that's great. Or if, like, the party thinks bringing Irabeth for her paladininess or Aravashnial to have a backup wizard, things like that. Also
What's
good.
the max level for any of these guys that we bring with us?
They will...
5, right?
Some people will be stronger. Some people will be, like... unless you decide to leadership them in case they become weird. But, like, your personal cohorts will cap at level 5, but, like, Irabeth won't. But Irabeth is her own thing.
Right.
I mean, they'll still be useful for a few more levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you guys can also decide on a...
You always
I'll
throw
take
them on
my
mage hand duty.
mages, but they're going to be seen front at be to have them stay back and help protect the camp and go.
Sure.
I think I'm gonna leave my mage, but I'm bringing my mongrel men my Belthus, and I think I'll leave. No, I'll bring the fighter too because he's a solid tank even for his low level.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. That makes sense to me.
Oh wait, hold on. Do we have a what? Did we have a limit on how many we can bring?
Due to the scope of events in Wrath of the Righteous, that limit is out the window.
Just any of the characters that you've created that that you think could be useful.
Yeah.
Plus any of the NPCs.
Yeah.
Delvin has proven that you can never underestimate a well-placed mage hand. And even then, if it's just a bunch of crappy wizards in the back who are all just magic missiling, like the D4s that will always hit add up.
Absolutely.
But it does mean the combats will go longer. It does mean that, like, right, things are things.
And if we are considering wizards, we still have. Well, actually, excuse me, I have the hiccups and I burped at the same time.
Well,
Our Vashniel is still blinded, though, right?
yes, at the moment, our Vashniel is still super blind. You guys, he probably was, like, in the common room when Queen Galfrey showed up. But there was not a lot of, like, notice of it, and he only bows because the enhanced sense of hearing from being blind and being an elf, he hears Queen Galfrey and bows.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
Speaking of that, what is the spell that would get rid of that?
Something on the
Remove
order
blindness?
of, like, no, not remove blindness. He's not magically blind. At this point, he needs, like,
Eyes have been removed is the problem.
he needs a full regenerate.
So that'd be... I'm trying to find the spell level for that.
Like 7th or 8th, I think.
It's like, because like I think like of all like, I like the interactions that have happened so far with our Vashniel, especially from the beginning of our excursion in this campaign to begin with.
Okay.
But at the same time, yeah, he is blind.
And as such, he's potentially a liability.
That's true.
Maybe. Could probably still make knowledge checks at least, though we have plenty of intelligent people in here to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much stuff he actually still knows that we don't yet, though.
That would be a matter of you guys asking him to, like, make knowledge checks, basically.
Yeah, of course. Okay.
It kind of comes down to how the dice fall. It may be that Delvin knows more about a certain thing than our Vashniel does, just because Delvin rolls better.
Yeah. Because mechanics.
I'm sorry. It's funny.
Though it is unlikely. I will say that.
No. Any stopping would be unlikely. Be rolling good? That's just out there.
We are reaching a little.
Need to do the Irabeth.
Okay.
The Paladin might be a really good choice, guys.
I agree.
The only thing is, do we take a competent leader? The other forces for us.
Plus, if we take Araveshniel... No, not Araveshniel.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting her name.
Anivia?
Anivia. Well, no. Anivia was the girl with the broken leg. You're talking about the paladin, though, right?
Irabeth?
Yes.
Yeah, Irabeth. Would we take Anivia, too?
It stands to reason you probably aren't going to be able to separate the two, yeah.
Yeah. What about the fighter from a while back?
Oh,
one that we essentially scared out
scared straight.
of Celtic.
You're talking about the guy from the library.
Yeah.
He still exists in the roster as a. Oh, I'm so glad I left the first book open. I will tell you in a second. But I think he's like a third level cavalier or something like that, who technically is in the pool.
He's a cavalier.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
He didn't have his horse because it was sad. But
Well,
hold up, I'm just about to him.
he doesn't need a horse now.
He is correction. He is a fourth level cavalier. He is.
That's interesting. Because I have, well,
He's just gonna hand him your new toy.
yeah, but eventually I have a. I might not be pay points into ride, but I have a mount, an animal that can serve as a mount, and somebody can ride it.
Okay,
So that's an option.
that is a thing that exists. The choice is yours, though. It's just a matter of I don't want to get halfway into the whirlwind and someone's like, I forgot my cleric! Oh, we gotta turn around! And the whole caravan swings back toward Canopras to grab him.
Yeah.
So
As this conversation is going on, it probably is not the worst time to introduce you guys to your people.
Of course.
As you're talking, the queen leads you in the direction of basically like on the very northern end of Canopras. You guys can see that a lot of both like armed warriors wearing Iomedae's holy symbol and lots of like experts have been brought into the city for the express purpose of rebuilding it, whether by like the use of stonemasonry or stone shaping or like just making like a wall of force and snapping it permanent. There is a lot of effort going into putting Canopras back together, and it's much more fortified, even down to just like people who lost their homes and have come back to the homes and are like sweeping their proverbial sidewalks of demon filth. The city is putting itself back together. The camp you guys are led to is a pretty small one, but as soon as you get there, if you had to stop and count, you would assume probably about 100 men, all dressed in the same, like, holy regalia of Iomedae, all snapped to attention, their armor emblazoned with the symbols of the goddess. About the same number of horses, in some cases ponies, for, like, the smaller paladins, right? All are...
All the halflings.
they're all just, like, hitched around the camp, basically.
Are they snapping to attention at us or to the queen?
Bit of both. Galfrey turns and these all have volunteered to ride with you into the whirlwind. We will need to find something for you, won't we? Speed, as she looks like it, Delvin. Speed is of the essence. These horses are, well, some of the best we have. And in addition, Aaron, Social, and a pair of human men make their way over. The first one that makes it cuts a much more imposing figure than the other, standing really tall in like brilliant, bright, full plate, on the center of which is emblazoned the holy symbol of Shellen. This is Social Vanek. He looks at everyone and kind of like does this weird half smile, nods.
We can come back to that later, what I just typed in.
Well, you have a brand new bird friend.
Where, like, you mentioned horses and the prospect of riding them. Well, Graza kind of snorts and flinches a bit at that, and he kind of just peers at the horses, kind of like, it's hard to get a read on what he's thinking. It's the same look that he gives when he's eyeing a piece of meat or eyeing somebody who's annoying him, like the fat guy, Horus.
Horgus. And
Gorgeous.
the queen looks at you. I'm sorry, is there a problem with the horses, Knight Grazek?
you expect us to ride on these?
Is there something you would prefer?
Something that doesn't stink. Something that I would not be tempted to bite head off of. I will try to resist if I must.
Good. That's very brave of you, friend. And she turns back towards the priest of Shellen, who's walked up. Sociel will follow you to provide healing. He's proven himself over the course of events in Knabras to carry a glaive for more than just show. And behind him is a much smaller, much scrawnier, probably about like 6 inches shorter. This is Aaron Kier, tactician, engineer, and scout. Despite the look of him, his knowledge of battlefield tactics were one of the few things, then looks at all 4 of you, other than you, of course, that prevented Knabras from falling outright.
What does he look like? You said he's like just scrawny?
Yeah.
Is he just like a squirrely looking, nerdish looking guy?
I wouldn't go so far as to say nerdish, but he's really like lanky without the tall part of being lanky, if that makes sense to you.
Sure.
Like,
You have 2 scout.
I want to say, like my soon-to-be ex-wife, because he has the same build as she does. Hi, Sarah, if you listen to these. This is awkward now, and I'm not editing that out. But he's just, like, he's really, really scrawny.
Okay.
And then behind both of them,
He earns a glare from Grazak.
and he kind of, like, half glares back, raises one eyebrow, and behind both of them, walking up, is a blonde halfling woman. And last but not least, Nura Denduar knows much about the area, much about Sarkoris, the world wound, demonology. Her bardic magic, of course, will be of a great boon to all of you. And she, smiling, hi, bows to the queen. I'm sorry I have to leave your service, my queen. It's been a great honor. Of course, I'm sorry to see you go, friend. But I know. They need me more. I understand completely. And she moves to the 4 of you and, like, starting with probably the one who's doing all the glaring and leering, Grizak, just moves up and, well met, friend. She reaches a hand up to shake yours.
I hand out a finger, kind of like Grazak kind of like cocks his head like a dog would and tries to return the handshake.
This means it's nice to meet you, buddy. And she takes your finger and, like, taps the back of your wrist with her other hand.
He leans over to Tempe. He's like, "This one is your size. One of your kin?"
I mean, no.
I've never. Okay, I think I'm playing up the dumb aspect of Grazak maybe a bit too much.
Maybe a little. Nura makes her way to everyone else and does a handshaking for everybody.
I've probably seen plenty of halflings before already.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Egg for good cocktail snacks. Wait, what?
When she shakes my hand, I probably get thrown around because she's not used to having to dumb down her own size strength.
Yeah.
She needs to use her finger to shake your hand.
She offers a pinky. Well, hello, little one. In addition...
I'll take a knee.
Aw. And she...
So I with her.
You take a knee and she takes a barrel, so you guys can be about even, and she takes it. And in addition, everybody you've met from before that mattered, like including all of your people, they are here. Erebeth taps her sword, looks over at Anivia. Well, this is basically everything we've ever wanted in art. I'm afraid, Erebeth, we have another task for you. I will speak with you and your wife after they've left. And Erebeth gets a little dejected at this, but she nods, and of course, my queen. Aravashniel is kind of like hanging in the back. He's got a hood up over his head. Of course, I will follow you to the ends of the earth, my friends. I may not see the wonders of the world wound, but, well, let's just say it's our turn.
I will say
Probably-
this, Saravash, it is your choice. We can use your knowledge, but we realize there will be greater.
Perhaps one of your apprentices instead.
You think just because I am blind, I cannot keep up with you? And he raises his voice, and the queen hears this. And she looks over and she sees, oh, by the inheritor. Someone, quick, scroll of regenerate. And it takes about 5 minutes for the scroll to be put together and the spell to be cast. And Aravashniel regains his sight. And he finally takes in the 4 of you. I see exactly why Guerum was himself. In any case, it's time for vengeance, my friends. And Horgus is not super far from all of this. He's dressed a lot fancier than he was when you first met him, and it's become pretty obvious. Like, the city of Canarbras, rather, has lost about half its population from the giant demon attack, and Horgus Guerum has gone from being a minor noble to like one of the most... There's been a big shift of power, shall we say, in Canarbras right now, and Horgus is a very, very powerful man, and he comes a waddling, goes, well, they say the thing about being neighbors is neighbors help neighbors. That's what my neighbors... And he accentuates neighbors really hard every time he hits it. They've taught me over the course of our time together. I'm not much good at fighting, but I've got most of my gold left. More than happy to make sure that my supplies go to good use. Everyone needs a good quartermaster, am I right? And he pulls his, to make himself look a little bigger, pops his collar, adjusts his suspenders over the gut that they barely are able to contain pants around.
It would be a long trip. I might be in need of a snack. Maybe you should come.
I think neighbours don't eat snacks. Or neighbour. No. Well, of course, lots of snacks. We've got lots of snacks right here. And he starts pulling out Twinkies. No, he doesn't pull out Twinkies. I couldn't resist. He has the body of a Twinkie connoisseur.
That was no fat man. I thought you would know this by now.
He just sweats. Really hard.
Definite loud chuckle from rattle china on walls.
And Horgus sweats like the Jordan Peele meme.
Okay. If I can ask this mechanically, you said he offers gold, so would bringing him on basically just be like we get bonus cash with bringing him on?
The thing about the armies, and we're gonna, I guess for everyone at home, we will not be using the mass combat rules that Paizo has made because I don't think they're that good personally, and they're kind of unwieldy, and unless we have 4 co-commanders rolling or something, what'll happen is Tempe or Grazik is leading everything, and everyone else is just gonna play on their phones till we're done. So we're doing something else, but it still is gonna kind of pan out. The things that they are given will sort of function like troops. And having a person who has lots of supplies, the willingness to share them, and the willingness to organize them, an army certainly marches on its stomach.
That's true.
Helping to...
And someone... Having played the bean counter for a military organization, that you don't want to have lines.
Yeah.
So I would welcome him as for both his talents and
good enough for me.
All right.
The queen...
I mean, when you put it that way, that makes a good case for it.
Yeah. The queen turns to the Irbeth and Anuvia. Turns back to the 4 of you. Well, I've never been much for pomp and circumstance. That's why we knighted the 4 of you in secret. But there's much to do. She breaks out a map. Sets it on, a barrel that is pulled over. And I'm going to put this in chat so everybody remembers it. I suggest you travel north from here, directly to Valis Gift, and then follow the east bank of the Selin River north until you come to Villareth Ford, at which point you can cross the Selin, enter the Worldwound proper, and continue north along its bank to the dry Ahari riverbed. This will give you a sort of trail to follow. From there, that should lead you straight to Dresden. Of course, you'll be the ones in the field, and I will not. If you think a different path is more appropriate, you should take it. However, the world wound, and she holds up one hand, holds up another hand, the material plane. The planar bounds are, well, the only rule is there are no rules, friends. I would certainly not hunt there, don't drink the water there. And she waves her arm at the Crusaders behind you. They all, of course, know this. But the last thing I need to happen is for all of you to get lost in a hurricane, come out of the abyss, and take all of you.
Yes, that sounds like a good thing to avoid.
And with that, she nods and, "Come, my friend, we have much to discuss." And Mirabeth and Nevia go off with her. And if there is anything else you guys would like to do in Canabras...
Sounded... Okay, actually, there had been a discussion about getting a cartable lab.
Uh-huh. And that's something that can be got pretty easily.
Okay.
I think one thing this...
And
oh, sorry, you finish.
Question was logistics for the group. Do they have food, water? Because we need to figure that out for ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have enough provisions to... you think, like... It will kind of depend on Horgus. You guys have provisions. If Horgus can, like, optimize their use, you can get, obviously, more out of them. Probably enough food, give or take, to get you guys the map has a scale on it. The roughly 160 miles from Canabras to Dresden, and then a little bit after for the actual, like, taking of the city.
Okay.
All right.
That's we can do.
So far as a mount
So-
for Delvin, we need a huge creature that could serve us as a mount, because otherwise the whole thing slows down really, really hard. What to do? What can I'm trying to think, what is a huge creature? The camp has enough of something in the camp to give you a 10-foot bonus to your base speed while traveling, so you can walk as fast as a horse. There, we did it. Haha. Horses are provided for everyone. I guess not Kieran. Kieran can just sit on anywhere on the horse and take a ride.
I think I might need Karen to sit on Grazok's shoulder to remind me not to eat the thing that I'm sitting on top of. Grazok does not like horses.
And there are...
unless it comes with barbecue sauce.
There's a bit of a baggage train, and there are some spare horses, and you guys have probably most certainly heard rumors of, in very extreme cases, Crusaders will slaughter and eat their horses, because it's better eat a horse than eat any of the anything you find where the abyss rubs against the material plane.
That is
Better for the horse than just letting it go.
Exactly.
of course.
Of course.
So these, so just to track back a bit, so the two others that we were just introduced to, that scout specialist and the bard,
Yes. In addition, a cleric of Shellen. They all three
And a
will be
cleric of
accompanying you. Yeah.
All right, cool. And let's see.
And our Vashnial is coming. Irabeth and Anivia have been pulled off for another task. Horgus is coming. The halfling's name is Nura. She's coming.
Yeah. Wow. Should we just not point out how convenient that was that somebody had a scroll of regeneration right there and then?
I mean, when you are the literal queen of a nation.
Fair, I guess.
It's
Hey, never look a gift scroll in the mouth.
no, you do not. Especially a very expensive gift scroll.
Fair.
Because if it has a mouth, it's probably a mimic and going to eat you.
Yep. That's a very, very, very fair assessment.
I've yet to come across mimics in any of the Pathfinder games I've played.
Ah, good. That keeps a certain naivete in my players. Look at all the loot that you could pick up and think what it could be.
The best one. I'm not sure if it's a mimic, but it's called a horde golem.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a giant mass of gold, but then it's actually an elemental.
Well,
So it becomes a big amalgamation of like gold coins that just attack you.
sounds good to me. So I think the easiest thing to call it is we'll say that like everybody's NPC army comes with, and if you want to use them, you may. If you don't want to use them, you don't have to. They can be like camp followers as well in such a way as you can trade them back and forth. Unless someone is just like, nope, I'm done with this wizard. We'll be on. But in any case, if there's anything else anyone wants to do in Canavres, speak now or forever get flavor texted at.
Well, eventually we're gonna want to do the whole crafting thing and selling.
Yeah. We assume that happened in the 8-hour period, and the buying as well. So if we want to, like, this is a good time to do that before we leave town forever, might not be the worst idea.
Kind of a simple thing. It's kind of just a flavor thing, really. But we got breastplates that are +1, but they have Iomedae's symbol emblazed on them.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Grazak would see this and be like, I wonder if I could get this with Apsus on it instead.
Yeah, it wouldn't be
I
hard.
might go to the dwarfs to be like, could you reforge this? Could you just, I don't know, buff out the metal engravings of the sword and put on like a dragon's face or something?
Yeah, it's easy enough to do. The sword of Iomedae is replaced with the, like, dragon flying over pedestal, Apsu's holy symbol.
Alright, cool. I hope I don't offend anybody with that.
You won't. There are several, like, there is a boatload of paladins following you. A lot of them wear Iomedae's holy symbol. Some have, like, Torog. Some have Shaylin, Sarenrae. Basically, all of the gods that can spit out paladins. Because everybody's got a common enemy in the demons.
Of course.
In any case, if you guys want to do the shopping/crafting now, it's not the worst time in the world to do so. I will mark the spot right here so everyone doesn't have to listen to deliberations. Okay, so we did a lot of crafting. Crafting feats are broken. I have a confusion, but that's basically what our session has become. Our session has become the session of getting ready to kill more demons, and that's what we're going to call it, my friends. If there's any more logistics that need to be logisticed, by all means, logistic them in the Discord in the next couple weeks. Like I told everybody but Adam, I will be out of town over Labor Day weekend, so the plan is to do the week after the week the bi-weekly game fires.
Sure.
So we'll see you then. In the meantime, thank you guys for watching the shortest episode of Wrath of the Righteous. Be sure to like and subscribe for more crazy, high-powered encounters, and I want to be in a group with Adam so I can have the ability to abuse these item creation things. See you next time. Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Sorry to the streamers.
We forget to the streamers. I'm the streamer. So, apology accepted.